special guest joining me here today, Ragini Dwivedi, who has completed 12 successful years in the Sandalwood film industry before she ran into a really tough phase of her life. Ragini, thank you for speaking to India today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I see a big smile. We also saw you, the kind of efforts that you put during the pandemic, the kind of help that you gave. It was really commendable and kudos to you.
Thank you so much. I just think we have blessings that we've been able to do so much work, help so many people in this time of pandemic. And I think I really have to thank my whole team for this effort, because it's not just one person who went out there and did these immense services. We did like multiple services, and I think it's possible when it's just a whole lot of people just joining hands to help each other out. So it was really
I know
great.
we saw it, a lot of food, a lot of ration that you handed out to scores of people. That's great. But coming down, a quick word on what really happened, Ragini. We know that you were embroiled in the Sandalwood drug case. Among the many who were accused, you and Sanjana Galrani were the two who were imprisoned for close to 6 months. It's shocking. There were several others who were accused as well, but all of them managed to get bail. I'm not going to get down to names here, but all of them managed to get bail even without a single day in jail. What really happened?
So, like you mentioned, that there were multiple people whose names came up, and I'd like to, correct the statement where you mentioned. So nobody was even arrested, or nobody was even called for an inquiry. Whereas, very surprisingly, it was just two girls who were apparently the Pablo Escobars, who were caught and put behind bars for, I think, reasons best known to the people who were actually behind the whole process. It's extremely shocking. It's extremely tragic for me, because I've been somebody who's been the brand ambassador for the biggest I think associations, departments. I've done work with everybody. I'm a philanthropist. I've done so many strong social causes. So I believe that I am a very socially responsible person, and I take pride in it. So it's extremely shocking for me when the whole instance happened, and it took me more so shocking for my family, because we come from a very, very simple background. My father served the Indian Army for 25 years. I am an army kid, and I am a self-made person. So for me to have experienced what I experienced was extremely traumatic for me, and extremely shocking, because like you said, if you really have to get to the root cause of something, it should be the right people who are caught and the right measures to be taken, and it shouldn't be people who are innocent to be made scapegoats of a certain situation. So that was something that was completely devastating for me.
Well, you've always maintained that you are innocent, but here the charges are grave. It's distribution and consumption of narcotics. That's what the CCB accuses. And you're on bail currently. Has the case cleared? What's the status of it?
No. So the case is still on, so we can't really talk too much about it. I wouldn't like to talk too much about the technicalities of the case, because it's a legal procedure, and I respect the judiciary for whatever procedures they have to do, and as a responsible citizen, we have to, and we are abiding
by
it.
No doubt, it's absolutely. But if I ask you about the allegations, when you say you always have maintained that you are innocent, I'd like to ask you here. There were allegations that you were part of, parties that were thrown in Bengaluru and otherwise, where there were people who were consuming, selling, etc. They involved you time and again, dragged you into those allegations. Several other personalities within the Kannada film industry came forward and said, things like, I know what they've done, I have some more names to bring up and whatnot. So this was a real big, massive mess, where you and Sanjana Galrani were the poster girls of it. How would you look at it now, 6 months down the line?
So I'll tell you what, I think the word you used is absolutely right. We were made the poster girls, and I think the right people to answer this would be the people who probably tried to very easily make us the poster girls of a certain instance that happened, make us the face of something. I don't know what the honestly speaking, Nabila, I don't know what exactly happened, why it happened, who's behind it.
But I'd like to ask you, were you ever part of those kind of parties, Ragini? Were such parties really happening?
I'll tell you what, Nabila, you are, as an actor or as a social public figure, you are a part of so many social gatherings. I wouldn't want to call it parties, social gatherings, social events where your presence is extremely important. And, if somebody has to turn things upside down or, try to twist and turn things around, it's extremely easy. For people to manipulate things today, it's become extremely easy. As a social person, as an actor, as a public figure, I am a party to so many things. I attend events, I attend social gatherings because I do it as a profession, as a job that I do it. And it's not just me, it's so many other people. It's like you have socialites, you have public figures, you have actors. So why my thing is that if you really if it was twisted and turned in such a smart way,
But did they
exactly,
really
it was.
manage to find any drugs or narcotics on you, as per their claims?
There's absolutely rubbish. There was nothing in my house. There was all the claims are false. I believe that I'm innocent. I believe that I'm a really strong person who can stand by the fact that when I don't do anything wrong, I can stand strongly and I can fight anybody. I have the support of my family. I have the support of my fans. I mean, everybody, my well-wishers, the fans of Karnataka, the fans of South India, they've come out in such huge support of me because, in ultimately, people know the character that you are. People
Yeah.
know the person that you are. You don't really go and need to justify or explain to people what you've done and not done.
No,
And today, the
absolutely. You
audiences
don't
are
need
also
to.
not.
No doubt, you don't need to justify to anybody except for the law, since it is a legal battle that you're fighting now. I'd really like to ask you about an instance during your tenure in prison when they ask you to take a drug test, you refused to do so. That became a talking point and blew out of proportion. What's your take on that? Why refuse to give a drug test at that point in time?
Honestly, throughout this whole case, 90% of this whole case was built on very conveniently media making stories out of nothing, allegations that were made out of just absolutely no evidences, no points, no proper solid reasoning. So I believe that even if the media had a huge role to play in it, they just you just conveniently become judges, you become lawyers, you become claimers. You think you have the right to really exploit the character of a person just because you think you're a part of a media house or a media group. I think that's what happened. It's not.
So
It's not
you're
the
saying the
case.
media, created points
Exactly.
of controversy
I
that
mean,
wasn't true.
yes,
There was
I
a
think this
point they
was.
said that you were throwing tantrums in prison, not wanting to take the drug test, wanting some preferential treatment. All of that was. What's your take on that?
So you know what? I don't really want to comment about all these people because a lot of questions like these have been asked to me, and I refrain from commenting on it because I believe that this was like something. This was a situation that was completely sensationalized. I'm somebody who's 110% cooperative person when it comes to anything, and when it comes to especially any kind of legal procedures, I have always maintained my 100% cooperation ground. So if anybody
I
is
read
speaking the
somewhere that.
otherwise, I think it's absolutely false and nonsense.
All right.
I just think
I
that it's
read
been
somewhere that
overly
you
done and
mentioned that women are being targeted in this drug scandal or the drug case particularly, be it Riya Chakravarti or you. Would you like to elaborate on what you meant?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I feel upset because they made it seem like just there are just women who are behind the biggest of issues and biggest of causes that happen, which is really not the case. I think you're just being biased when it comes to trying and making a judgment on women. Why women? Why would you just target two women in the industry
Right.
or three women in the country? I mean,
How
it's
did you get past through those 5 months, Ragini? It must have been impossible to be at the central jail, the Parapanagrahara. How did you really pull through those months, day on day?
See, I believe that I'm extremely blessed. I think, and I'm a very spiritual person as well. My bringing up is really, really strong. So, in this bringing up, we say that whatever situations come to you, any difficulties that you face in life, it's just not this situation. It's in my 11 years of journey as an actor, as a social figure, you face multiple ups and downs.
Right.
It's not
What
like
did
one
you
instance that you
specifically do?
face.
What did you specifically do?
I prayed a lot. I meditated a lot. I believe, and I had, it wasn't really difficult for me. But I really feel for my family who really suffered and who were really traumatized during that time, because everybody just wanted to, target them and try to sensationalize every single thing that they were doing or that was happening during the case. Whereas people could have just been a little bit patient, a little bit sensitive with the whole thing.
What have you learned from that experience? And I'd like to ask you if you've gotten back to films. What's that scene like? What's upcoming and what do we look forward to?
It's been a learning experience, and I'm extremely positive. I'm extremely confident of the work that I'm doing. I've bounced. It took me a while because obviously when you go through something traumatic, it takes a little time for you to come back. But I am extremely happy because I've come. That the moment I got an opportunity, I immediately came back and started from where I had stopped. I started doing all my social work. I reached out to people, and the kind of response and love I received is amazing. Films is great. I'm doing about 4 films right now. I'm doing a pan-India film. I'm doing multilingual films. My trust is doing great. So yeah, it's all good.
All right. We're really happy to see that big smile on your face, and I hope it stays. Thank you very much, Ragini, for talking to us and breaking your silence and highlighting what happened. All the best.
Thank you so
More power
much.
to you.